What is up with my hair this week? Oh, hello everybody, it's Philly Kuts with another comic book haul. What are we on, number 26? But it is now known as the Hump Day Haul. Philly Kuts, the Hump Day Haul. Every Wednesday, it's Hump Day, but more importantly, it's new comic book release day. I got a stack of books and a graphic novel in there that I pick out every week. These are my picks, my personal preferences, and, we talk about them a little bit. I want to thank AA for coming up with the winning name for my comic book haul. AA, a.k.a. Aaron, I got your address in the private email through YouTube, and I'm going to be sending this out this Saturday for you. And you are now the proud new owner of Clive Barker's Hellraiser, The Road Below. I hope that you enjoy this as much as I do, and maybe this will spark an interest in you wanting to elaborate or expand your collection and get into Hellraiser. This is a good book. It's a one-shot deal, so hopefully you'll enjoy it. Hellraiser, The Road Below, Boom Comics. All right. Let's get started, folks. We'll start out with the DC title, but hold on, man. My Harley Quinn glass. Look at what happened. I used like a sponge, like that, those blue sponges or yellow sponges, and they have the rough side. I used the rough side to clean this, and it freaking ripped everything, all the paint off. I'm afraid I probably shouldn't even be drinking out of this. I don't know if this was like made in China, and now I'm going to be ingesting like lead paint. But I think I'm going to have to retire my Harley Quinn glass. I'm very disappointed. I've never had a glass that did that. I have Guinness glasses that have paint on it and stuff, and it didn't do this. I'm pissed. Alright, DC. This week, or this month, variant covers of movie posters. Can you guess what one that is? Yeah, that looks like Hal Jordan. Hal Jordan, 2001, Space Odyssey. And this is a big-time issue. Basically, in the last issue, Hal Jordan got summoned before the Guardians, I guess the Templar Guardians, and they basically told him, we need you to help us restore the image of the Green Lantern Corps. The Green Lantern Corps, which Green Lanterns, if you don't know, they're basically intergalactic policemen. Apparently, as of late, they've been having a public image problem. A lot of people in the universe don't like them. Kind of like what's going on in our country right now with the police, right? With all the stuff that happened out in Ferguson and new footage every week coming out with the cops beating someone or overreacting to a crime and using excessive force. Cops, even in our world right now, have a PR problem. And I always love it when comics kind of tie into, real-world current events into their storylines. And leafing through this issue, there are some major stuff that goes down. I mean, right off the get, Hal Jordan breaks into the Green Lantern Corps, the headquarters of the Green Lantern Corps, goes into some evidence room. Well, actually, he breaks into the evidence room. He doesn't have to break into the headquarters. And he uncovers this new weapon. It's kind of like this glove, and then there's some sort of apparatus that he wears on his back. I don't know what is up with that. I don't know what this is, but that's very, very interesting. But his buddy, Kilowog, catches him in the act. You familiar with this guy? He's like a brute. He's so tough. And he's in charge of training the Green Lanterns. He's like a drill sergeant. They get into a bang-up, smack-down, beat-down fight. And let me tell you, there's some serious consequences to this fight. I'm not going to say what happens, but someone ends up a pretty big loser. Now, it also goes through in this issue some flashbacks and stuff. And some kind moments between Hal Jordan and Kilowog. They get into some nice discussions here, some good backstory. But I gotta tell you, this fight is pretty brutal. I'll just show you a couple panels. These guys get smacked down and dirty. I mean, they are pissed. And I didn't really see this coming. You know, it's making me curious to buy the Green Lantern Corps and maybe find out why the Green Lantern Corps has so much problems with the rest of the universe. You know, I keep getting deeper and deeper into this Green Lantern universe every time I pick up a book. And this issue is just action-packed from start to finish. The bad part is at the end, there's a big thing that happens, a big twist and a big turn, and then it says, "See you in 2 months. A bold new era begins." And I'm like, 2 months? Why in 2 months? And then I was like, oh, that's right. It's because the Convergence event starts, where every title in DC shuts down for 2 months to start this Convergence event, where I guess Brainiac is like shrinking cities and stuff and worlds and putting them in jars and shit all over the universe. So what do you guys think of that? Are you kind of upset that everything's going to be shutting down for 2 freaking months to focus on this Convergence event? Again, if you didn't know, there's also going to be about 25 titles that are going to be stopped by DC, and then there's something like 25 new titles sprouting up. It's no longer, the DC Comics are no longer going to be going by the moniker of the New 52. So big, major changes. If you check out a couple videos ago, a couple comic book hauls ago, I talk about which new titles are going to be coming out. So maybe check that out. Maybe in the description below, I'll give that exact comic book haul where I detailed that. I'm not going to get into too much details, but you know I did buy Red Lantern number 39 last week, and guess what? That was the first Red Lantern comic I ever read. I bought the first trade this week. Red Lantern's Blood and Rage. I don't know too much about the Red Lanterns other than they're led by this guy, Atrocious. I probably said his name wrong. He's filled with a lot of rage and anger. He's the leader of the Red Lanterns. He apparently is going to be going after some guy, the evil guardian Corona, I guess, because he killed Atrocious's family. And now Atrocious is hell-bent on revenge. Peter Milligan is the writer. I'm a little worried because Peter Milligan, if you know, he wrote Terminal Hero, which was a Dynamite title that I was picking up for the last 6 months, and I wasn't really happy with the writing, but I'm willing to give it a shot. I just want to keep learning about the freaking Red Lanterns and anything that's involved with the Green Lantern universe. So I'm still fully in, folks. Fully in. All right, number 15, Harley Quinn. This is the variant cover. Basically, Harley Quinn has been under a lot of pressure, right? She, works 2 jobs. One is as a psychologist. She does, like, I think a lot of volunteer work at the puppy fucking mill or wherever it is. At as a PCA, probably not a puppy mill. She would be freeing the puppies from the puppy mill. She's spreading herself pretty thin. She's trying to date people that she likes and then gets kind of denied. The last issue, she got kind of stood up on a date. It's upsetting her. Not only that, but Coney Island seems to be going to all hell. There's crime increasing in the area. Here's Harley reading the local papers. Killing spree, 3 shot, super turd. I don't know what that's all about. There's fires. There's arson in the neighborhood. She's also trying to play the part of superhero still. She's still got that Power Girl syndrome. Some guys in the neighborhood burning down stuff, houses. She's saving people. She's under a lot of stress. So basically this issue is kind of exploring that. She may be on the verge of like a nervous or perhaps even a psychotic breakdown. So I guess we'll have to see what happens. You got the great writers of Connor, Palmati. Chad Hardin is doing the artwork. It's Harley Quinn. I love Harley Quinn. She has like a lot of vulnerabilities, but she's so human. And she really is a very likable character. And she's not like a bad guy really at all. She's kind of like a good guy that just does things in sort of a twisted, wacky way. and I look forward to Harley Quinn every week. And keeping with DC's, like, bisexual theme, you know, that Catwoman was revealed to be maybe, possibly bisexual last issue. That was a big bomb, I thought. Here's Harley Quinn with Poison Ivy drinking wine. Looks like something may be going down. I don't know. They're getting close. I don't know. Have they ever been romantically involved before? You got to remember, I've only been reading Harley Quinn since issue number 11, so I'm not sure. Maybe I shouldn't be fixating on that stuff so much. I don't know. Detective Comics, I went with the variant cover. What's that? Bat Matrix. There you go. I thought that was an awesome, really awesome, cool cover. The Anarchy storyline concludes. Lots of stuff in here. Let me get my cheat sheet. Basically, Batman teaming up with, oh God, who's that rascally freaking detective that they don't get along? Bullock. Him and Bullock have teamed up. I guess Bullock discovered in the last issue that Anarchy's masks have some kind of mind control device, a mind control transmitter in them. We also learned that Anarchy has some kind of connection with Jarvis, the Mad Hatter, going way back to his childhood. I guess Jarvis did some things to some kids, did some things to his sister. You know, sister reminded him of Alice. Anarchy's kind of hell-bent on revenge. He's hell-bent on revenge of the people of Gotham. He felt that the system betrayed him. And he's definitely hell-bent on revenge on the Hatter. And he's kind of exacting his own vigilante justice in his own way. Quite different from Batman. You know, Batman kind of pulls back. He doesn't want to hurt people. This guy, Anarchy, no qualms to do that, to get what he wants. So, you're basically, this kind of ties all the loose ends. You kind of find out who Anarchy is in this. He's, you know, his identity is revealed. And, the artwork is just incredible. I really love the artwork in this issue. It just looks great. The coloring, everything. I really love the artwork a lot. Story is a bit, you know, it's kind of far-fetched. They're really swinging for the fences, but it is very entertaining. But I think the artwork is the real story here. I just love it. I love it. Check this out. Batman giving old Anarchy a face plant. And there's the Mad Hatter losing some teeth. Alright, that's the end of DC. Spider-Woman. Spider-Woman number 5, and I have it upside down. Should be like this. For nearly 40 years, Spider-Woman has had the same costume, right? Miss Drew, Jessica Drew. Well, she now has a new costume. There it is. New costume, new direction. She revealed in the last issue that she wants to leave the Avengers. She no longer wants to fight crime on this big cosmic, interplanetary, galactic scale. She kind of wants to help the common man and do battle against street-level crime in New York City. It looks like this is going to take place in New York City. She has a new costume. She rides a motorcycle. I guess her costume does some new tricks. The star of this comic, too, I really love, you know, because obviously I haven't read it yet, but I really like the work of Javier Rodriguez, specifically his coloring. And I really love how the effect right here of the blinds in the window, and this kind of goes on for like 2 pages. See all the blind effects, her face and everything? I just thought that was like a really neat kind of touch with the blinds. Really, really cool. I really enjoyed that. Seems to be a very wordy comic. Very verbose. I guess there's going to be a lot of introspection in this comic with Spider-Woman. I guess maybe reflecting on why she's decided to go this route. Here's some guy in like a weird lion costume stealing a safe. So we'll have to see how it goes. You know, I really like Spider-Woman. When I read the whole Spider-Verse series, I found Spider-Woman to be the most engaging female spider out of all of them. I don't really understand all the hype and the hoopla over Spider-Gwen. I mean, I leafed through that issue last week when it came out, and I just don't get it. And the Spider-Gwen didn't really do anything for me in the Spider-Verse series. I just didn't find anything that appealing. I always felt that Spider-Woman was a stronger character. She's more like straightforward and to the point. She's funny. She's not afraid to take risks. I don't know. I just enjoy Spider-Woman a lot more. And I think she has quite the resume, too. I mean, imagine all the tie-in possibilities eventually with the Avengers and the fact that she was also part of S.H.I.E.L.D. So I'm really looking forward to seeing where that's going to go, okay? So let's move on. Let me catch up. Princess Leia, Marvel Comics. First issue. I'm not sure if this is going to be just a mini-series or an ongoing series, but this is the third Star Wars series to come out in as many months. You have Star Wars came out a few months ago, and then Darth Vader, and now we have the launch of Princess Leia. I guess there's going to be another comic, Star Wars comic, but that's associated with the Star Wars Rebels cartoon series or something. Basically, Princess Leia is trying to find her remaining Alderians. If you remember, in Star Wars, her planet got blown up, remember, as a display of power of the new Death Star. Do you remember how Darth Vader had Princess Leia? He was wrapped around her and showed her, this is the power of the Death Star. Boom! And they blew up her planet. Well, apparently she's got to round up the remaining Alderians that might have survived. Kind of reminds you of another story, right, by DC that I really like that's Green Lantern related. Sinestro, right? Sinestro rounding up his fellow Korrigans. His planet was destroyed, so I don't know how I feel about the artwork. You got Terry Dodson and Rachel Dodson. They're husband and wife team doing the artwork. I guess they've done some work on the X-Men series. I'm not feeling the artwork. I mean, look at Han Solo's face, man. He looks like a fucked up Dave Duchovny. No, what? It doesn't look like Harrison Ford. I mean, the other comics, the Star Wars comic and the Darth Vader comic, they all looked very much like the movie counterparts. And this one, not so much. I mean, Princess Leia doesn't look like Carrie Fisher at all. So I don't know. It's kind of getting me out of the mood there. Kind of getting me, you know, out of the whole theme of Star Wars. So we'll see how that goes. I'm going to give it a chance. And we'll see how it goes. I'm going to stick with all three of those series for a little while. And if they don't start to do it for me, they're going to drop like flies. All right. Vertigo Comics. Cullen Bunn. Wolf Moon. This is really starting to pick up. And leafing through this issue, this is probably the most action-packed issue. Basically, a guy got possessed by a werewolf. There's this werewolf that has the ability to repossess people each month, each cycle of the moon. He can go to a new host. Last issue, our main character, I forget his name, but he was really hot on the trail of this wolf. It ended, the last issue ended, he found the wolf at a shopping mall of all places. And there was starting to be a showdown between him and the wolf. And then lo and behold, this other hunter appears. Well, that continues in this issue. Right off the bat. So right off the bat, you got tons of stuff going on with this wolf. This werewolf is just tearing people up in the mall. There he is right there. I mean, he's a big dude. There's the other hunter, the guy with the sunglasses and the hat. We're not really sure yet why he's chasing after the wolf. I'm sure it's probably for some sort of revenge. Maybe a family member of his got killed. But this was just action-packed. And it turns out that this hunter, unlike our main character, is willing to hurt innocent people to get at this wolf. I mean, he just doesn't care. He doesn't care about what collateral damage he accrues as long as he's going to try to get his wolf. him and the main character have a showdown in this. They, exchange blows. So all kinds of fighting. This wolf is just huge. There's some scale of the wolf on top of a car. And look, I mean, he freaking looks as big as a car. I mean, it is no joke. I mean, this is just pretty straightforward writing. It's entertaining. I can't wait to see where it goes. Also, I forgot to mention, the hosts of this wolf, so he's been jumping around from host to host, the hosts have been getting murdered. And I guess at the end of this issue, we find out, it is revealed who the murderer is of the hosts. So it's kind of cool. I kind of want to find out why this host then is murdering, or why this guy is murdering all the hosts, So there's all these questions floating around out there. This is a mini-series. It's 6 issues, so they're already up to number 4. I don't know, at this point, maybe you might want to just wait for the trade to come out. Dark Horse, we got Hellboy and the B.P.R.D. number 50, or number 52. Number 4, year 1952, the first year that Hellboy started doing cases with the B.P.R.D. So you have a very young, very inexperienced Hellboy. He's something like in people years, only like 5 or 6 years old or something. But in his body, he's like, the size of a regular adult demon. Well, lots of stuff going on in this. You really see how Hellboy is very kind of inexperienced. He's not as gung-ho and as assured of himself as we're used to as the adult Hellboy, and that's to be expected. There's some infighting within the B.P.R.D. Some of the members don't really want him to be tagging along because of his inexperience. One of the B.P.R.D. members, I don't think they revealed it, last issue kind of set him up. Maybe was even trying to kill him. So that's interesting. He is trapped underneath this castle in this issue. We found out that this demon monkey that was scaring the residents of this South African, I forget where in South American, I forget where in South America this took place, but there was this demon monkey entity. Well, it turns out it wasn't like a demon after all. It was just a monkey that was kind of in a costume, and it's been experimented on. They pulled the monkey's mask off and had all kinds of transmitters and stuff on it. They find a secret room underneath this castle, Hellboy, and look at that. That's a monkey smoking a bogey with human body parts all over the place. It gets even better. There's more and more experimentation going on. Very wide scale, right? Like, what is going on here? There's guys missing hands, guys missing arms. So it's raising so many questions. Who's behind this? Well, they do reveal this in this issue, but I don't want to ruin it for you guys. But it's a classic enemy. If you know anything about Hellboy, it's a classic enemy that has always been into the occult, searching for the occult. Kind of similar to Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark. I just gave it away. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. But lots of questions, and hopefully we're going to get lots and lots of answers, because the next issue, I believe, is the last issue. These are going to be 5-part series per year, and then it's going to take like a short break, and then they're going to go into Hellboy and the B.P.R.D. 1953 and start up another 5 issues. I'm not sure how big the gap is going to be in between that, but that's basically what the format is going to be for that. Now, I got a couple new titles. Another Dark Horse title, and this looks promising. It's called Neverboy. And basically the premise behind this, if you look at this, right, do you see some pills kind of swirling around this guy's head, and it's all like dreamy looking, kind of acid trippish. Have any of you people ever had an imaginary friend, growing up as a kid? Did you ever have an imaginary friend, or did you ever know anybody that did? I never did. I always had a lot of real friends. And I don't think I ever really knew anybody that had an imaginary friend. But basically this story kind of explores, there's an imaginary friend, and he is able to stay manifested in the real world as long as he takes these special drugs. And I guess that this issue is going to explore that and going to kind of mess with your head about what is real and what is imaginary. I really like the coloring in this issue, and that's by Kelly Fitzpatrick. I'm not familiar with any of her work, but there's some really nice and interesting color choices in here. They're kind of very vibrant. I want to say Skittle-ish. I think of Skittles, kind of. They got like rainbow rivers and stuff like that. I don't know if that's like representing the imaginary world mixing with the real world. I'm not sure. I didn't get a chance to really read any reviews or anything on this. There's a nice wide panel. This is the kid with his imaginary friend. And they put planets up all into trees. So I don't know. This seems like it could be a very, very promising story. And I figured I'd check it out. Why not? You know, another exploratory pick. And we'll see how it goes. I'll keep you guys posted. So, Neverboy. #1, Dark Horse Comics. Alright! Another #1. The Descender. And this is written by Jeff Lemire. Or Lemire, I don't know, I can't pronounce his name. He's doing the new, all-new Hawkeye for Marvel this month, too. And Dustin Nguyen, who does Little Gotham. Those cute Little Gotham comics. This is a story about a young boy, android. And in this universe, or galaxy, androids are outlawed. And it's very interesting. Apparently that this kid, and I forget what his name is. It's something like Tim21, Tim-21. He wakes up from a 10-year slumber. And when he wakes up, he discovers on his colony that everybody is dead. Apparently there was some kind of accident. They're mining on this planet. I'm not sure if it's the moon or a planet, but wherever they are, they were mining. And there was some sort of gas leak. And because of the gas leak, everybody died. Look, there's corpses rotting. His mother, his father are dead. And he wakes up to this. And he's an android. So I guess, I don't know if he's going to be hunted, if he's going to be on the run. There you can see him here. I really love the artwork and the coloring in this. See his face? He has some kind of special dog, rover type creature. This is kind of Speculator City right now. Because I guess that the rights for this have been bought, I guess, to be made into a television or a movie or something. I don't know. I'm not really into comics for that. But it was something that I found out about on the internet. I don't really make my purchases based on that, but I guess apparently lots of people out in comic book land do, with the hopes that they'll be worth money one day. I don't know. I don't see how that's possible. The way I look at it, it seems like the only comics that are really worth money are these rare variant covers. You know, like the Spider-Gwen last week, which is just ridiculous. It just, I don't understand it. But I'm not into comics for that, people. I'm not into it to try to make money. I'm into it to read and to enjoy things, and that this sounded like a very interesting story. And also interesting coloring, too, who I'm not sure does the coloring. Who does it? Illustrated by Dustin Nguyen. I guess he does the coloring, too. So, pretty cool. Looks like the troops are coming in to find this android. Very cool kind of watercolory looking colors in here too. And it also kind of has some like minimalistic look to it as well with the coloring. Very light colors. So I'm really looking forward to reading this. It's also about 30 pages, I think, or 33 pages with no ads. So, as usual, sometimes Image really gives you that more bang for the buck in that first issue, which I love about Image Comics as well, is that, you know, you really can get a lot of value. Here's some of the spaceships in this universe, too. So it really looks like this is going to be a very interesting world to be a part of. I can't wait. And lastly, another Image comic by the deity god writer Grant Morrison. This is Nameless. I found the last issue. This one's going to actually be on Keep or Sleep status. Catwoman is officially off Keep or Sleep status. I'm going to be keeping it. Mainly because of the bisexual theme going on. I gotta see where that goes. I gotta see what's gonna happen with them. So I'm just being honest. That was the deciding factor for me. Gotta know. I gotta know how far they're gonna put that with Selena Kyle and the new Catwoman that she seems to be enamored with. So this was the new one that's on Keep or Sleep status. I found the last issue to be kind of cryptic and all over the place. Lots of dream segments. The main character is named Nameless. I guess he's some sort of astronomer that is going to be able to crack some code and be able to help this other group of scientists that are on the dark side of the moon. They're on this base in the dark side of the moon. And apparently there's this asteroid, this billions of years old asteroid, headed on a collision path for Earth. The name of the asteroid is the Mayan word for hell. Oh God, I forget what the heck it is. Well, it's the Mayan word for hell, so if anybody out there knows what it is, let me know. And there's all kinds of weird cryptic writing all over the place. There's people that are becoming psychotic and writing all this stuff all over the place. In the first issue, one of the astronomers, I guess, that was involved in this case ended up murdering his family, and he was writing all this stuff all over the walls of his house, and he murdered his family and posted the pictures on Facebook. So, I mean, it's pretty intense, but I'm just hoping that the story gets a little bit more clear, you know? Because that first issue, it was just very, very confusing, and I was just like, what the hell is going on? Because they were switching from dream sequence to dream sequence, and it just got very, very confusing. And I guess, I don't know, I guess that's how Morrison kind of writes, very cryptically. And the artwork in here is okay. I'm not really that big a fan of it thus far. But we'll see how it goes. You know, it's on Keep or Sleep status. And I'll let you guys know. I'll keep you posted, alright? More cryptic, crazy writing with bloody fingerprints. They're billing this as a sci-fi horror book, but I haven't really been that scared reading it. It's just more kind of like, what? I want to figure out what's going on, you know? So we'll see. Keep or sleep, people. Alright, well, let me know what books you got this week. I'd love to hear from you guys what titles you have, any recommendations. I have started reading people's recommendations, most notably Outlast. That was recommended to me by J-Rocks and DN8 Comics, and I'm really enjoying that as well. The Nailbiter trade came out this week, but I decided to go with the Red Lantern #1 trade. That was in my budget. You know, I couldn't afford to buy two $15 trades this week. I'm probably just going to order that Nailbiter. I'm going to be doing a big trade order online at cheapgraphicnovels.com. And I'll probably make a video when I get that haul in. Comic book cover of the week. Boy, this was tough. The covers this week were really, really good. You know, some weeks they're terrible. This is a week where it was pretty difficult. But I got to go with my love for 2001 Space Odyssey melding with my love of Green Lantern. Something wonderful. So that's the cover of the week, folks. Let me know what your cover of the week is, all right? And then I can check it out. All right? This was a close second. Close second, but not close enough. All right, dudes, that's the Humpty Hall. I'll see you next week, all right? Peace.